Hey everybody, it's Tim again, and finally, after a long wait, I finally purchased the Dracula accessory set from NECA. It's the third accessory set for their Universal Monsters line. The first one, of course, was for Frankenstein. The other one is for the Mummy, and now finally Dracula. I hope they come out with more of these because I really love what I've seen so far. The first two sets, they ran about $40, which was interesting that I saw this one at a Target brick and mortar release for $34.99. I know there's been some complaints about the pricing of this one, given that what you're getting with the release. And I don't know if that had anything to do with the drop in price. But $34.99 plus, if you have coupons or there's different specials where you get $10 off of $70 purchases and stuff like that, I knocked this thing down to about $20. So I'm pretty happy with what I got for $20. Now, as you can see, this has the Dracula title treatment from the original film, from the original poster. And instead of putting this on the turntable, I'm just going to swing it around for you to see what you get. You get the giant spider, you get a rat, you get an armadillo, and also the Jerusalem cricket. And of course, this is in addition to the coffin itself. Now, you see hanging out in the background, you have the actual Dracula figures, releases from NECA, the black and white silver screen version on the right, the color version on the left. So what I'm going to do is take this out of the box and show you how everything fits and do a little comparisons with another coffin that I purchased recently. A little more generic looking, but it did the work, and you can find it and the review on my site here, on my YouTube page, excuse me. So when I come back, I will have Dracula's accessory set and its accessories out of the box. Okay, I'm back with the unboxed version of the Dracula accessory set, and this is an opossum. I don't know, I think I said rat. It's a critter, same difference. So, giant opossum, a rat I think would probably be smaller in size. You have the armadillo, you have the giant spider, you have the Jerusalem cricket, and of course, inside you have Dracula. Okay, I got the silver screen version from NECA inside of there. And you'll also notice in the background, I have the diorama, the sturdy cardboard diorama that comes with the set. You also got that sort of thing with the Mummy accessory set as well as the Frankenstein accessory set. The Mummy, of course, had the sarcophagus, while the Frankenstein had the table, the operating table. So you can see those reviews on this YouTube page if you do a quick search, and I'll try to link up to them as well. So I really love the look of this. I'm trying to do this one-handed since I don't have enough room to proportionately show this thing on a tripod. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. So, it stands up. You can see it's got about a half an inch there. Okay, it kind of has a wood grain look to it, which is really cool. Of course, this is a classic figure already. I mean, what NECA did they've done an excellent job with all of their releases, but I think by far, right now, my favorite is probably the silver screen Dracula, the Bela Lugosi version, just because it's so spot on, the look of Lugosi. I mean, it's one thing trying to replicate Frankenstein's makeup and the Wolfman's makeup and the Mummy, but, when it comes to a human, man, there are little nuances that you got to get in there that are really, really tough. And I have to say, these guys really, really nailed it. So I'm going to shut this down, and there goes the bat. And I'm going to put this down. And as you can see, let me tuck the cape inside momentarily. Obviously, we have working parts on this coffin. We have the handles that I would imagine if you got enough of the figures, you're going to be able to actually have them hold the coffin. If we ever get a Renfield figure or whatever, hopefully that we'll be able to put those into action here. So, the top of it has this sort of dusty look, but it's actually not dusty. It's actually a dusty look, like it's been in a vault, like it's been in Dracula's crypt here. And if give you a closer look at the background diorama, I like that. It really does have a three-dimensional look, especially these steps coming down. So obviously it's very dark, and of course you can enhance this whole accessory set with all these critters. Again, the opossum, you have the giant spider, you have Jerusalem cricket, and you have the armadillo. Now I'm going to have to go back and look at the original Dracula to see if indeed, I'm sure all these critters, they show up in there. Why include them otherwise? So that's your accessories right there. Now, just for a quick comparison, I mentioned this other more generic coffin. This is from Figures Toy Company. Actually, it's a release for their wrestling figures. I would imagine all the shenanigans are pulling at wrestling matches. Somebody has a coffin here and there. I actually, it's been years since I've watched wrestling. Hey, I'm just glad they produced it so I could put my NECA figures in it while waiting for this coffin. Now, obviously, looking at it above, they both have that coffin shape, but this one just is obviously more in proportion. I'm going to take this off, and I have my actual color Dracula figure in there, and I'm just going to tip him sideways. Well, let's tip him up. As you can see, there's a lot more headspace. Obviously, this one's built for 8-inch figures, for Mego-style figures, wrestling figures. So, for what it was worth at the time I purchased it, for about $20, it was definitely worth it. You got that felt red in there as well, which is pretty cool. But here you don't have any of the, working parts, the handles or anything like that. So I still think it works. I think the Frankenstein's monster figure looks better in it. And again, you can check out my old review of this coffin, which ran about $16 to $20, I believe, when I bought it a few months back. Now, the big gripe people have had is the pricing of this coffin and whether it is actually worth the $40 price fee if you're going to buy it online. Man, I tell you what, I would have had a hard time plunking down $40 plus an additional, amount of money for the shipping for something like this. But for this cost me about $20 when I took in all the discounts. If you get your pharmaceuticals at CVS in a lot of Targets, if you fill so many prescriptions, they'll give you a $5 coupon. I put that to use here. They have Target Circle has their shopping options where once in a while they'll give you $10 off of $50 purchases or $25 off a $100 purchase. You put that to work for you, then you can knock the price of something like this down to about $20, which I did. And you'll see, obviously, I'm very happy with the amount of money I spent on this because all of a sudden you can achieve some pretty cool poses. You got the hand coming out of the coffin like you do with the box there. So I think that's really cool. It's just, again, man, I grew up with this stuff. I mean, I grew up with the movies. So it really kind of comes down to how much of a completist you are. I mean, we went so long without any licensed figures from Universal Monsters. For a long time, I mean, people really only had the, occasional release from Hasbro, and Toy Island, I believe, was another one that did them. There have been Dracula figures, obviously Sideshow, and then Jada, got into it with Jada Toys and Jada Next Level and all that sort of stuff. So once this stuff started coming out at a pretty good clip a few years back, it's like, I got to have my hands on everything. And that's really the main reason why I needed to have this coffin in my collection. And again, it looks extra cool because this is the way I remember Dracula, in that coffin, in black and white. So, it's a collector's dream. It's something that we haven't gotten too often in toy collecting. So I'm really happy with that. So that's about all for my review of Dracula's accessory set from NECA. And I guess if you want to, we can also pop in this, whoa, the bat that doesn't want to fly. You can obviously add that to this area set, to this area in this play set as well. Obviously, if you own the Dracula deluxe figure, you get a lot more with that too. So I'm going to get around to getting the wine in there and all that sort of stuff. Although technically it doesn't belong there. It's the sort of thing that belongs elsewhere in Dracula's castle. But you might see a bat or two, flying around in the area as well. So that's why I'm going to put him in there. But that's all I have for now. Please comment below. Let me know what you think of this accessory set. If you purchased it, if you plan on purchasing it, how much money you spent on it, whether you think it's worth the $40. Again, like I said at the beginning, I just hope for more of this sort of stuff.